Hey yo, this is Jordan Dennis.
And I'm JUJO.
And we're Flyboy Jack. You're tuned into AUD.
Said she likes rappers and shit. Chocolate skin under the rappers and shit. I got a sweet tooth. Get it poppin' with the passionate kid. Start a tab and a spliff. You can tell me what you've been through.
Yo, what up, Cash fam? My name is Matthew Craig, and you're watching AUD, Australia's Hip Hop Connect. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and all that good shit down below. Because as always, we're bringing you the biggest guests from Australia and around the world. Unfortunately, we couldn't get any of them today, so instead... No, I'm kidding. You've heard of Batman and Robin. You've heard of Bonnie and Clyde. You heard of Scotty and Jordan and Pippin. Right now, we got Melbourne's version of that right here in the building. I got my mans, Jordan Dennis and JUJO. Welcome to AUD. How we doing, fam?
Good. We're doing good, man. Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
Bringing us out on here.
Had to pull up too. You guys been flat out work rate the last couple of years. It was only a matter of time before we sat down and had a chat, eh?
Yeah, the truth.
Yeah, for real.
It's been a minute, man.
Bro. Lockdown, all that bullshit. We ain't gonna talk about that though. What we're gonna start talking about is Egyptian Lover, the new track. It dropped like a week and a half ago. It's saucy as shit. I've been bumping it in the whip. Tell us a little bit about this record. How'd it come about?
Well, we were just during lockdown, and Dallas actually ended up coming through and just staying.
Dallas Woods, shout out.
Yeah,
shout out Dallas.
Yeah, he ended up coming through to JUJO's while I was there as well, and we just ended up putting a project together over that week and a bit. Yeah, and that was just one of the songs that we kind of ended up making and we put together, and it was just kind of inspired by being fucking sick of being stuck in lockdown.
Yeah, that's
So we
you know what I mean? Like,
well. So
yeah.
it's a bit like, what do we do?
Yeah.
So let's make something so when we get out, we can bump
Which
it.
came first? Like, because for me, the part of the track that stands out is that bass line, and then you got the vocal melody following the bass line.
Yeah.
Did the bass line come first or the vocals?
It was the bass line.
Yeah.
The bass line came
came
first.
through.
Bass line's funky as shit.
And we were like, what do we do? So George is like, let's just follow it. It's so cool. Let's go for it.
Yeah, I sat there for like a good probably like hour and a bit, and I was trying to think of other melodies because I don't usually like just settling for the bass line.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, like I honestly can't think of anything stronger at this moment. So like, and this is a pretty strong bass line, so might as well just like mimic that and not try and do too much over that because that melody was so good, like,
dope.
you know. And then here's like those little synths in the background now.
Yeah, little like, anti.
Bro, it's a big joint.
That's just like inspired by just like some rocky stuff, you know?
Have y'all picked up fucking J Rotation yet? If you haven't, Triple J, what the fuck you doing? that song is made for you. It is made for your audience. It's made for festivals. Like, what the fuck y'all doing?
I think they know what's up.
They better know what's up, because that joint's good.
They've played it a few times.
Good, that's what we want.
We
All
got
right,
mad
shout
respect for that.
Appreciate
so,
y'all. Big
Thank
love.
you.
Thank you so much for
It's in the credits, we have to
But
say
still,
that.
but still listen to them, man. We
Yeah.
went on a full rotation.
Yo,
yeah, let's get that.
bro, I want to talk about the pipes on that track as well, though. Where did they come from, baby?
I don't know, man. Like I've just been trying to, I guess, hone in on that a little bit more over the past couple years. I think in the time, well, it's probably been a year and a half now of actually doing proper Flyboy Jack.
Yeah, like we were really
focus,
getting polishing it.
That's been the biggest part of the last year and a half for us, like really getting that together. So, in the meantime, away from that, I had, Jerry, like my manager, asked me, what are you going to do for Jordan Dennis and da-da-da-da. And that was constantly something I was thinking about, but yeah, just practicing singing on the side and fucking around with that. And
Did you grow up singing? Is that something you're sort of adding to your repertoire now instead?
Nah, it was something that I liked the idea of being.
I spit.
No, like, it was something that I liked the idea of being able to do, and like I kind of could do it a bit when I was younger, but like not well. At least I didn't think so. And even now, like everything I know is just from like just trying to do it.
Just experiment.
Getting lessons is something that I would love to do, but yeah, I think something that I definitely want to incorporate more in like the Jordan Dennis aspect of things to differentiate a little bit. Yeah.
And last thing on Egyptian Lover, the visuals. That shit look wild.
Oh man, shout out
Johnny
to
Johnny
76M Films. If you
Frank
do
and
anything, if you've seen that video, if you haven't, go check it out, whatever. But if you do anything, please go show them some love at 76M Films on IG and pretty much everything else.
We did that in 5 days.
5 days.
Bro,
they
that
put
video
that
is
together.
Like we taped it on a Thursday and the song came out on the Wednesday.
Yeah.
And he had to
Put it all together.
put it all together.
We finished shooting it on the Sunday, and he had to have it edited by Wednesday morning or Tuesday night.
Tuesday night, yeah.
That's work rate.
Bro. And he was learning how to do the CGI in that time.
Yeah, that,
you know
that
what I mean? Like,
it looked levels, bro. It looked like a big video production shit. Like, it looked like Hollywood shit, bro.
Yeah.
we fucking
Finessed it.
We had to get
snapped it
lessons
together.
to fly as well.
Yeah.
No one knows that. Like,
Fly the helicopter around?
well, what? Yeah. So we did a couple lessons.
Yeah. Nice.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah, spent the past.
I wish.
I couldn't tell.
Nah.
How long does it take you to get a pilot's license?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I
take this
spent that amount of
motherfucker
time.
That amount of time was preparation.
Y'all just touched on Flyboy Jack. Let's talk a bit about that. Because obviously everyone knows Jordan Dennis and JUJO individually as artists and the work you guys have done collabing for a couple of years now. But Flyboy Jack, it's the new venture, it's the new project, it's a new creative direction with the two of you combined. Give us a bit of an insight into what what we can expect, because I know it's been a long build up and we're about to get hit with that fire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you want
true.
to start?
Well, pretty much. Flyboy Jack started like about 2 years ago. It was pretty much all the songs that were left over that we could never release for a Jordan Dennis record or a JUJO record or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And we just like, let's make a project.
Yeah.
So I had an album ready. He wrote the album in 5 days, man. 5 days, went away. He wrote this album. I didn't think he would do it. And that sort of kick-started the project. It was like, man, we got an album, man. You know?
Yeah, this guy, he kind of forced me into it because, like,
That's how it worked.
well, at the start, like,
No. I'm familiar with it.
like at the start, he, we had a bunch of tracks that were like, these are never gonna come out. What do we do with it? They're sitting in the kind of in between pocket. And then he sent me this demo beat called Flyboy Jack, and I was like, yo, that's cool, like Alias. And then he wrote this other project, also like just what was like 22 beats, and with Tentendo, shout out to you, Caleb.
Yeah, shout out Caleb. Man. Yep.
And then I was like, bro, fucking, I don't care if I'm not even on it. Like, actually just like, let me write it or some of it.
Yeah.
And he came back to me later, like, because originally he was like, no, I want to get like a bunch of people. And then he came back to me like a week later and then he's like, yeah, nah, bro, like, actually, let's do it. But we're going to do it this week and we're going to get it done in 5 days. And I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like, I can't do that.
I had a window for 5 days. I'm like, bro, get your ass to my house. I'll drive. Let's fucking go.
5 days to write to like 22 beats. And I think we compressed it down into like 20 beats that ended up being 18 tracks. And
So that
put it
was
together in like 4 days.
Yeah.
that itself
Yeah.
just really just opened the door to be like, let's actually see what we can do together. And just create this world, this universe that like is just outside the boundaries. Like, who gives a fuck, man? I
No
want
expectations, so just pushing them creative.
man,
boundaries.
let's add everything. If I want to make rock or reggae or something, let's do it right now.
Yeah.
But let's add our flair to it. And sort of, we had a model like an Outcast vibe or Gorillas.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Just let's just be different and unique and create worlds for people just to really get stuck into. And and now we're 5 albums in, so no one's heard a thing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The bits I've heard are crazy. Like, anyone watching this shit, like, these are two dudes that you got to lock in and tap in with, because when we talk about artists in this game, there's levels to that. And these guys, as you said, you guys like really write and really do this at a really high creative level. And Flyboy Jack is probably the most boundary pushing shit I've heard you guys do. And so I'm hella excited for that. What's the writing process like for that? Like, I understand you had a whole bunch of beats or whatever initially, but bro, when you got to sit down in your face with 22 tracks in 5 days, and you're not just... Let's be straight up. Jordan Dennis doesn't just write 16 bars and rhyme single syllables. Like, this dude actually raps.
He does 78
Like,
bars.
only a handful of people in this country rap like this dude.
Thank you.
What's the process like for writing that quantity of shit, but still trying to do it at the top tier level?
I'm actually really glad you asked that, because like when we were talking about, writing the tracks, I didn't want people to think like we were skimping out on quality to try and just get a certain amount of tracks done in a certain amount of time. So I guess, well, for the first project, when he told me that I had to do that, I originally was like, no, I can't do that, And we ended up just going away, and it was just, I just took a little bit to kind of like chill and be by myself a little bit at the start, while I was setting up and stuff. I was like, cool. And then just started listening through. I would try and do a full track, but write at least 4 or 5 tracks through the day, and then record them at night.
Yeah.
and then listen to them the next day for a little bit, and then do the same thing. And it was challenging because you wanted to diversify everything that you're doing. You know what I mean? You don't want things to sound too similar, and you don't want to get stale or boring in your content. But also at the same time, it was good because doing everything in that limited space, it like makes things more cohesive and, you know, just forces you to kind of like come up with ideas
when
like
you're hot,
that.
just keep it rolling.
Yeah. And so it was challenging, but it was
You killed it.
It was
man.
great.
You
Yeah, it was
killed
great
it.
fun.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
I literally said do 4 tracks a day, man. Like the only way we're gonna get these done is done the math.
Yeah.
Big math.
Quick maths.
And that's what it was.
Shout out
And
Big Shaq.
yeah, I didn't speak to him for 4 days.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, well, yeah. So
And is there a sort of narrative or theme lyrically to the storytelling that's going on here? Because I've seen the artwork and like, congrats on the artwork as well.
Thank
It's
you.
wild. Like, I love the whole creative direction of this project. What are we tapping into theme or narrative wise?
it's like that alter universe,
Yeah.
alter ego. So it's like, I'd like to say the art and stuff and the stories are just like the first album was about growing up and learning lessons.
Yeah.
You know, Boondock style.
Yeah.
Very
Hard.
Boondocksy.
Hard,
Like
yeah.
we love that. You know, Jordan
Yeah.
introduced me to that. I love that. The recent mixtape that's coming out on December 10th.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Heard it first, December 10th, Flyboy Jack. Let's get
it's
it.
our first mixtape, yeah, and that is pretty much about Afro Samurai type of vibe, where we meet for the first time. It's the origin story, and we sort of flex, and you know, you get to see a little bit about my story and Jordan's story come together.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I think like from each of these projects, we had a vibe in mind that we wanted to keep or like, you know, adhere to and still delve outside and try and do things differently. But visually we wanted it to coincide with just things that, well for me, I just wanted it to coincide with things that I found visually captivating, stuff that I like grew up on, and stuff that I just love the art style of, and you know, found the stories to be like, wow. You know,
What are some of those inspirations?
oh well, like you said, Boondocks,
Boondocks,
Afro Samurai, Cowboy Bebop, what else? Even you seen Yasuke?
No.
It's like Flylo did the soundtrack for it. I'm pretty sure it's an anime on Netflix about like the first African samurai.
Crazy.
Yeah. But
And you did all that shit yourself, yeah?
yeah, and shout out to my man Otto.
Yeah.
He
Yeah, shout out Otto.
like I usually just sketch everything up and then he'll digitize it and color it for me because majority of the time I like working on paper.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything there has just been driven by us, really.
Yeah,
you know, trying to keep a lot of it in house and yeah.
What about like sonic influences? Like you mentioned, like Outkast before. That's a real good analogy for me. That's a vibe that I get from you guys. Like two literally creative beasts going back and forth.
Yeah.
Like what else is it? Anything particular you guys been listening to that's helped fuel this shit?
Well, I reckon what really inspired me was when I started listening to a lot of Kendrick.
Yep.
And like let's say Good Kid, Mad City, PM Butterfly. Just the way the production was, it told a story as well as Kendrick telling a story.
Yeah.
And there's obviously a lot more, but that really got me. Good Kid, Mad City blew my mind because I felt like I sort of lived that in a weird way as well with it.
It's probably the best rap album of the last decade, bro. Let's be real.
I don't know. I just felt that. I just felt it. So it really inspired me to create a sonic soundscape for George.
Yeah.
And then George also allowed me to shine as well. That's why I love working with George.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I put the gas on and sometimes he puts on the brake and allows me to shine as well.
There's always dynamic range with you guys, bro.
You got to, man. It's like I think, you know, the real show of like knowing how to navigate a beat is like when you know what not to do or what not to, where to say nothing. You know what I mean?
That's it. The best rappers always say the most with the least amount of words.
Exactly. And like really painting a picture. And sometimes it's not even necessarily my picture to paint, like with the words, you know what I mean? Like a lot of the time I'm just going off what he's already done and like solidifying that with language, you know. But
Getting the
like
words up.
other times, I have to try and put myself in his shoes because I want to tell more of a story from his angle. You know what I mean? Or.
But I've said it to him. I said, listen, I want this song to be about this. And it's like really focused. Like, this is what I'm portraying. If you match that, we got a hit. Like we got it. You know?
Actually, I got an idea. This is a quick idea. I want to ask each of you individually, what is it about JUJO that brings out the best in you and helps you create, bro? What's his unique skill set? Because this is one of the best producers in the country, no cap.
Yeah.
Like, and I've had the pleasure of working with this guy, and being in a session with this guy is fucking unreal. But
Thank you, man.
let him know, bro. What's it like working with George?
You know what? I think like, and I'll say this about pretty much everyone in our team, is the best thing about working with him is the relationship that we have when we don't do music. You know what I mean? And like that so much better allows us to then get into that space and just click.
Yeah.
So, and because there's no really other agendas, you're not talking about money and all that other shit, you know, before you're talking about creating something.
Yeah.
Or, you know, it's just like we go in there, we do it when we feel like it, and we make what we make. And his ear is so dope. Like, he put something together, like two elements together so quickly in a way that's like, fuck. You know?
He's quick.
Like, and it's only two things. It's only a sample that he's chopped and just the way that he's placed the drums and decided to program, you know? But like,
Thank you, bro.
nobody does it like that. But I think also coming from the more electronic background that he has as well, it allows him to hear things differently and do things a little bit differently. But yeah, it's always a pleasure, man. And
Thank you, man.
What about on the other foot? Like you work with a lot of rappers, bro. And let's be honest, let's be straight. You work with a lot of people. We all know a lot of people who try to rap, but there's only a handful that do it at a top tier professional world class level, and he's in that level. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
And so what is it about him that's different than other cats, bro?
Ah, man. George is a different breed, you know? Like, out of a lot of songwriters, MCs.
Yeah.
And especially when, like, how I work as well. The way he hears a melody or a song, he catches this vibe, he finds the pocket and he excels in it.
Yeah.
If it's rapping, he knows fast or slow, or if it needs a lot of juice. You know, he's got great ears like me, and I've worked with a lot of people. I feel like Jordan is one of the best, man.
Yeah.
And that's all due respect to everyone, but I just love.
Like there's a unique chemistry that goes on with you two, and that's what I want to ask that.
100%.
And that's what I said before. Like when we're working, like, our relationship outside music is great. So it's like, hey man, what do you want to fucking do?
Yeah.
And I'll be making some beat, and he'll be like, I like this, but it's shit.
Yeah.
And he goes, no man. It's like, you think it's shit because you've heard it, but he's like, maybe just pitch it down to. Pitch it down to. And I'm like, bro, that's fucking smart.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. And then, like, the one of the projects we did, he pretty much took over, and he's like, bro, these are the beats I want. I'll do this. Like, he's learning a lot more about production.
Yeah.
Like, anything he touches is very creative and innovative as well. It's like, man, I reckon like this, you know, like, get crazy. It's like, no, add a bass line in, and then boom.
Yeah.
So, mad respect, bro. So,
That was cute. That was a cute little segment. We might do that more regularly. You mentioned about like being innovative there. You guys are like always innovative in your branding, marketing, releasing. You got something different for this rollout as well, and how it's going to go about?
you know, we forgot someone as well. No!
So
I'll have to go home and get him.
Yeah, so we for this rollout, I got a few things really that I want to try and get done.
Yeah.
But so far we have the rolling papers.
Let's go.
Flyboy Jack rolling
Flyboy Jack
papers.
rolling papers. We have a vinyl that's on the way for this mixtape.
Yes.
We're getting one of them put up here in the studio.
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
Delivering you one, sir.
Yes, sir. And even the way you're rolling it out, like
the way we roll. Well, see, this project that's dropping on December 10th is an album. Like it's an album, but because there's samples in it, we can't do it like that.
mixtape.
Yeah,
It's a mixtape, but it feels it got the album feels for sure.
Shout out Mac Miller and Law Finesse for that one.
But again, when you're talking with the rollout, we decided to try and do something. Hopefully, it's stands out.
Yeah.
But because the projects all kind of follow a narrative, and I want to have a visual narrative that works with that. It's almost like little movies type of thing. So for the tracks that didn't have samples that we did with all, original shit, we built a trailer out of that for the project, and those ones will go on Spotify. So that will be a trailer, just a precursor to what the whole project is, and you can go from the Spotify and to see what
dive down the Flyboy Jack rabbit hole.
There's Bandcamp, SoundCloud,
and there'll be a couple of versions of it. There'll be one that's one whole sound clip, and then there'll be the individual tracks as well. So, but yeah,
there's interesting little cookies that come with this project and these samples which have been crazy. And I want to say it.
I'm all about interesting cookies.
I'm about interesting cookies. It's like a guilty secret for us. So like one of the songs we used was got picked up to be part of Donda for
at the time.
At the time, like a selected beat, and it was really exciting for us because it was like a lead song.
Yeah.
And unfortunately we didn't get picked, but in a way it's
Jay-Z got cut from that, bro.
It doesn't matter. But like that was big. It was a big moment. Like, like feeling that and being like, man, like what happens?
Yeah, I was like, what is he gonna say? I was like, oh, like you haven't told nobody that. Like, fair.
It was just like I don't know if
That's cool.
But yeah, that was exciting, but the biggest thing that comes out of this was we're running a pretty much like a street party in Footscray.
Let's go, Westside.
Everyone's invited. Like bring your dog, your auntie, bring anyone, and we're pretty much gonna be doing it in Footscray. I forgot what the square's called.
Yeah, I can't remember.
We'll post it all in the links. Everything in the comments
links
below. We'll link all this shit.
Yeah,
you want to cop it.
Yeah, it was just outside on what is it? Baby Snakes.
Baby Snakes,
That's this a little bar in Footscray, but there's a whole courtyard. We're gonna be having like a b-boy jam during the day. We're gonna have some DJs playing afterwards, and then we'll keep it on the low who the opener is for now. And then we'll finish off. So.
Because it's pretty much like in a week.
It's fucked. It's next Saturday, man.
Yeah.
So
keep
to do.
It's good. That's it, man. It's good. Come down.
I like it. Well, boys, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you guys in. Like I said, we've been boys for a minute. We finally get to sit down in front of the cameras, have a chat, chop it up. Congrats on everything you guys done individually, together as Flyboy Jack. Like, I know regardless, and that's the thing about Love It You Boys, it's that don't worry about numbers or accolades or any of that bullshit because that'll all come. With you guys, it's art and art first. And I just feel what you guys are doing creatively is really important, not only locally, but for this whole country to be able to push it to a top tier standard. So I'm excited for this shit to come out. I'm excited to be bumping it and just to see the reception you guys get because you deserve it.
Thank you, bro. We're really excited to drop it. Hopefully everybody enjoys.
Fuck with it. They'll catch up in a few years' time, I'm sure they will.
And irrespective of that, if you come across it, enjoy it. It's just there's a story there and we're building. So
that's it.
Yeah.
Big love. Jordan Dennis, JUJO, Flyboy Jack. Big love. We out.
I don't wanna come back down again.